Hey, and welcome to the Uncomfortable is Okay podcast. I'm your host, Chris Desmond. This is the show where we make it easier for you to get out of your comfort zone. The last couple of months, this Friday episode has been focused on all about the evolution of Uncomfortable is Okay. So taking it from a hobby, taking it from just the podcast, and obviously the podcast is still going. You guys are still listening in here, but to be able to create some more value for you guys listening and hopefully make it easier for you to get out of your comfort zone in a slightly more structured way. And that culminated last weekend with a Surmount workshop, which I ran here in Wellington. So the day was, it was an afternoon, and it was really about identifying strategically where you want to get out of your comfort zone, going through a bit of a process to figure out where do I want to invest my energy and get uncomfortable. And then working with people through the process of actually planning that out and how they're going to do it. But also, really importantly, identifying the obstacles that they're going to come up against and the discomfort they're going to come up against and providing some strategies for them to work through that. So that happened on Saturday afternoon. And in the morning I was feeling good. I was feeling really excited about things. And then about an hour before the workshop kicked off, my wife asked me, she said, "How are you doing?" And I just replied to her and said, "I'm just super fucking nervous right now." Because I was scared that this was the first time that I had done this, that people were actually coming to pay for my advice around this topic, and which is quite strange because people come and pay for my advice as a physiotherapist every day, and I have absolutely no problems with that and with charging people to do that. So really quite confronting how that came up for me. But got down to the workshop, people showed up. We had 3 awesome participants came along to Surmount, and things just started to flow with that once they arrived. And I really want to thank them because they were so open and honest about their stories and about what getting uncomfortable and getting out of their comfort zone would mean to them, which just really put me at ease and made the work that we did together just so much easier for me. A couple of times during the workshop, I just stopped and realized how much I was enjoying teaching what I'd learnt from having all these conversations and doing all this research about getting out of your comfort zone and taking on challenges and working around the discomfort associated with that. And I think that everyone there had a really good time. We definitely came up with some great plans of action, and we're following up with them this week about kind of how things are getting on. So hopefully we'll be able to report back to you all about how well everyone is going, taking on their challenge and getting out of their comfort zones. But as always, there's things that do go wrong a little bit, and one of the first things I realized was there was a bit of a typo in the workbook that I had prepared for everyone. And this is the workbook, to making an excuse now, this is a workbook that I had created, and it was getting created just after my son was born. So when I said, yeah, that looks good, I probably wasn't in the best headspace for it. But it's okay, that'll be an easy fix in the future. And probably the other big thing that I really want to work on, and that'll need a little bit of honing for future workshops is timekeeping as well, and just kind of making sure that I keep things rolling over and I keep things sort of working to time, because it did feel a little bit rushed towards the end for me. There's a lot of other little takeaways with it, and I could sit down in here and talk for an hour kind of around each of them. But I wanted just to let you know that, yeah, things went well with it. I really enjoyed it. I think people got a lot out of it. And like when I started the podcast, it was a kind of can I prove to myself that I can do this? And I think with Saturday, I did. So the next uncomfortable things that I'm going to be working on, excitingly, I've been asked to give a couple of talks. So I'll be talking, if you're in Wellington, on the 17th of November, I'll be talking down at Power Living Yoga for a Movember event there around men's health and men's mental health. And the weekend after that, the 24th and 25th of November, I will be talking at the Rotaractors conference in Wellington, which is going to be exciting as well. All about what's on the other side of fear and how to get there. So if you're around and you want to stop in for either of those, it'd be great to see you along. I'll give you a wave out in the crowd. So that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable in terms of kind of working through the preparation for those talks and getting up in front of a whole lot of people and speaking. Public speaking is something that I want to get better at, but there's still an element of discomfort around that. But probably the next thing that needs to be ticked off is working on an online community. So I'm setting something up called the Uncomfortable Community. And basically what that is, it's an online community where we train to get better at getting out of our comfort zones. So it's for people who want to get better at going for opportunities when they appear, or to actually get better at identifying those opportunities that are out there that they can go for. It's for people who want to be able to identify and then take on challenges that are meaningful to them. So kind of strategically taking on challenges rather than ones that do just pop up. And it's for people who want to develop the skills and the resilience to deal with the discomfort that life throws at you from time to time or quite often. So the way that I'm thinking of it at the moment is that it's like a gym, but it's for your comfort zone. So what we're doing is we'll run through exercises that train us to get out of our comfort zone. So I'm going to be putting together some physical challenges for us to get out of our comfort zone, as well as some mental and probably slightly emotional challenges to work on us training to expand our comfort zones in different areas, as well as going to be doing some live training and live Q&A on a monthly basis as well. So obviously that the training aspect is like a gym. One other thing that is like a gym, or is like an exercise group or a running club, is that the support of people around you in the community that lift you up when things get tough and push you harder when you start to falter, and people who basically you can crack jokes with at any time as well, that if you need a laugh, then they're there to help you have a little bit of a laugh at yourself, or even just some random dad jokes or some fart jokes or something like that. So as I said, it's going to be like a gym, but for your comfort zones. So that's something that I'm in the process of setting up. That is hopefully going to be kicking off early in November. If that's something that you're interested in getting involved in, then flick me a message. You can either message me on social media at uncomfortableisok, Facebook and Instagram, or Twitter, Chris Desmond NZ, or if you're on LinkedIn, flick me a message on LinkedIn, or send me an email at uncomfortableisok@gmail.com. Would love to get you involved. It is going to be a paid community. It's going to be a pretty cheap monthly fee. It's still kind of figuring out exactly what that looks like. Somewhere in the realms of sort of 10 or 15 bucks a month though. So that's the next uncomfortable thing that I'm going to be working on, but it's something that excites me. So I think the most uncomfortable part of it will actually just be putting in the hard work. But thank you guys so much for getting uncomfortable with me today and sharing this journey.